Fun question. Do you deep condition your hair once a week or once a month? It is part of like my feminine intuition, building, loving myself thing that I do every single week. Plus, it makes my hair fabulous. So I'm curious, do you have a weekly routine? And if so, what do you do? I'm going to show you mine. First of all, let's look at this color. Is it not exquisite? First, I'm going to show you the ingredients that I use, how I combine them. I'll share with you the amounts that I use for myself, where I order everything from, and this is just for this part. And then I will go through into how I actually do it in my hair. Now, I've already done it this morning, and had I had foresight earlier this morning, Sunday, I would have shown you the whole process, but we can do that some other time. So right now, we're going to start with this. When I had my practice as a life coach, which I love very much, I also had another practice that I did here, and it was called Ignite Your Magic, right? It has to do with lotions and potions, which for me is so integral into the feminine aspect of us, the way that we curate and the way that we love, the way that we share, and the way that we create. One of the first things that we see in each other as human beings is our hair, it's our skin, it's what we wear and how we show up. I am one of those people that believe that what you put in your mouth comes out and shows up in your skin and in your face and in your presence, and also what you put on there to help decorate how you show up in life. So you guys know I have some hair, and you have to take care of that hair in order for it to continue to be magnificent. So I don't know how old you guys are, but back in the day when I was in my tweens, we used to do hot oil treatments. You remember hot oil treatments that you would have an oil and you would put it in a hot measuring cup or a hot cup of tea or something or water and let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes. And then you would put it on your hair and rub it into your scalp. And then you would get yourself a plastic, either a Ziploc bag, or you had a shower cap. And then you would put a bandana and keep it on for 20 or 30 minutes. Well, this is the same principle. And these are the ingredients that I use for myself. And because I love everything about a ritual, part of being feminine for me and really curating that and bringing that in is the scent, it's the oil, it's the aromatherapy and the apothecary practice that also goes along with the ritual of being a woman, and how we show up for one another. So when I create this, I have 2 different types of castor oil. Everything that I order here, everything that I have is from Amazon. I love Amazon. And also I go to here in Malmo, there's a place called Sokenfin, which has to do like a spiritualist store. So they have incense and candles and crystals and journals and everything that has to do with that practice. So I go in there once a month and I pick up certain things that I use every day for myself. So part of these little things that I get from there are these, which we'll get into that in just a little bit. But first, we're going to start off with castor oil. This is the castor oil that I use, that I get from Amazon.se. And this is a ricin oil. It is made from a bean. It is absolutely nourishing for your skin, for your hair. Some people consume it and says it really cleans out parasites, and I have not gone into that. But I definitely use it for the aesthetical skin beauty of myself. And one way that I do that is by using this castor oil. And then there's another one that I use that it's Jamaican castor oil. And it's like this orangey, rich, really organic, and it helps to deeply condition your skin or your hair. It makes your hair really strong. It seals moisture. It's a hot oil treatment effectively, and it's all natural, which I love. So when you look at this little droplet that I use, it's a glass dropper with a glass little thing, and I do 60% of the, see what it looks like? Isn't it just magical? Look how it shows up. It's so thick. It's so nurturing. It is magic. You see it? So I'll do 60% of the clear, which is a beautiful yellowish color, like melted butter, castor oil. And then I use the the black castor oil, which gives it this magnificent hue. And can you see my skin already, how radiating it is for that little bit? And because I love the magic of the practice and I really focus on letting it infiltrate my entire being, I put these magnificent scents. And each one of these magnificent scents actually has a corresponding benefit to your body, to your person, to your aura, whether you choose to believe it or not. This is what I do. And one of them is lavender. And it is so amazing. And I pulled out my herbal books to read to you the ones that I pulled out and why I use it and why it's so beneficial for my skin, for my person, for my scents. Because I can tell you, I put this on in my hair in the morning and I leave it on till I take a shower. And the smell is delicious. So one of the beautiful benefits to lavender is something that Cleopatra used, of course, and it had a reputation for attracting love and passion. So when I put this on for myself and put it in my beautiful little bottles for hair tonic, I think about how much I love myself, how passionate I am for myself and my well-being. And then it's also really good with lavender because it has protective properties. And I wash my hair once a week. So I always think of this nurturing, caring of myself by just putting my hair with this oil and nourishing my scalp, which is the top of our crown, right? That I'm protective of myself, that I'm nourishing myself. And it's something that we've been doing since the Middle Ages. So it's not anything new. And, if you think about evil eye or something like this, but we can get deeper as we progress in our beautiful relationship here in Feminine Spaces. One of the other incredible versatilities of this magnificent herb is that it brings upon love and peace into yourself. It's something that you can sprinkle. You can actually sprinkle this on your pillowcase at night, and it helps you have a really deep, soulful sleep. It allows you to, if you believe in these things, it brings forth clairvoyance. It brings forth consecration of happiness. And it leads you to have wealth and protection in all kind of ways, divination and blessings, because all of this is focused on you taking care of yourself and feminine with your feminine energy. And this is how we cultivate these things. We can say that it's because of lavender that does it. And I like to add that lavender, because I'm using it to nurture my scalp and nurture myself, and I love the scent, that makes me peaceful and I'm grounded within myself. All these other things are amplified and come because you're working on yourself and building yourself and developing yourself. So you open these pathways. Another thing that I use a lot here, I have lavender, and then the other thing is rosemary, because rosemary, as you know, like this, rosemary is associated with Egypt and embalming the dead, which is a horrible correlation, but it is true. It's something that you use in improving, for us humans that are alive, it's improving circulation. It improves the appearance of your skin and your hair. So the combination of putting lavender into this oil, because I'll share with you what I do with it after I put all of this in my hair, makes so much sense. Because when I put the oil in my hair, I usually rub my scalp for 5 minutes or so, and eucalyptus and rosemary. All of these things are antifungal, antiseptic, and they open up your pores so that you can let the oil be absorbed and really focus in on the hair shaft, on your scalp, on nourishing and hydrating your hair, and it smells amazing. So yes, you're right. The third item that I put into my magnificent hair tonic is eucalyptus. So now we have lavender, rosemary, and eucalyptus. And the third thing that I use when it comes to these little drops of frankincense, because frankincense is very protective. Frankincense, I always feel that it connects me to something higher than myself, which I love everything about. And frankincense, here's rosemary. Let me see where I have it, because I did have it out and now I've moved on and come to you. Frankincense, it's also, connected to God and Jesus. And it was one of the things that the three men on the camel came and brought to Jesus, frankincense, because it cleanses the environment. It cleanses, for me, the way I look at it when I put it in my hair and just rub it, is that it's cleansing all of the things that I picked up in the course of the week. It's opening me up to be connected to my higher self. And it brings me in that space of pure femininity where I'm just connecting to myself. So those are the 6 items I use. And then for preservation, I always put like 7 or 8 drops of vitamin E oil, because I don't know if you ever experienced this, but when you work with oils and when you work with ingredients like, it says it right here, it's so beautiful, these beautiful aroma oils, it says pleasing, sweet, soothing, and effective antidepressant and mood lifter, right? So sometimes when you put these things together, you need a preservative or something that ensures that it's either lemon, citrus when you're working with teas, or when you're working with oils, you put a little bit of vitamin E oil to preserve it. Because I make these 2 and I do it every 3 months. And this lasts for me to put in my hair once a week for 2 months rather. And then argan oil. It's something that's mystical. It's something that's magnificent. And for me, I have found that with castor oil, it's very thick. It's thick. And the castor oil, it's thick, but it's a little bit less. And then when I add a little bit of argan oil allows your hair to open up from its porosity. It allows you to bring in that shine and that nurturing hydration. And I also add it as a way to lessen the viscosity of the fantastic hair tonic. And this is what I use on my hair once a week. So see, it actually comes out very nicely. So this is what I do. I part my hair in fourths, down the center, and then down the center across from ear to ear. So then I have 4 chunks of hair. And then what I do is I fill up the dropper, and then I take the dropper, you see my hair flowing in here, and then I take the dropper and I actually put it in the quarter of my hair like this, and I do 2 of these droplet fulls per quadrant. And then so I do 2 passes like this in this quarter, 2 passes like this from the tip of this glass dropper rubs across my skull, right? And then I do 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. And then I take 2 more dropper fulls. So the first one, I go across the front of my line and my crown. And the second one, I do it across the back of my hairline back here. And then I take 5 minutes to just rub my hair and really incorporate it into the roots of my hair, and slowly and little methodically bring it down to the root, from the roots all the way down to the tips of my hair, and really ensure that it's incorporated. And then I have these plastic shower curtains that I get every time I'm in a hotel, because they're disposable. And then I'll wash them 2 or 3 times, and then I'll throw them away. And then I use a bandana to ensure that I don't get any oil that seeps perhaps from my hair, because it melts and runs down my neck sometimes, and I don't want it to get on my clothes. So then I use one of these fantastic bandanas that I've had forever. And then I just leave this in my hair all day. And I can tell you, one of the reasons that I started doing this again was in my mid-40s, when I was going through menopause. And, you hear about you lose your sexual appetite, or, you gain the 10 pounds, or, you have mood swings, all of these things. But one thing I didn't know is that you actually lose your hair. Your hair gets thin. And I have a lot of hair. So for me to see that here in the front of my hairline, I was almost bald because my hair was just dropping out. And when I brush my hair, typically you lose, maybe 100, 120, 200 strands of hair every week. I mean, every day, just in your normal everyday life. But I literally had chunks of hair that I was losing. So then I read in one of my Hocus Pocus books, and my aunt that's now 90, Yaya, she said that put castor oil in your hair. It helps your hair to thicken up and it helps your hair to start growing again. And I can tell you, 10 years ago, because I'm 56 now, so I started this 45, 46, my hair is full, it's voluminous, I love everything about it, and my hair came back and grew even stronger and better than it did before. 1. 2, taking this time once a week or once a month, whatever is good for you, to just spend time communing with myself, for myself, about myself, nourishing myself, loving myself, caring for myself, from a simple act of just putting hot oil treatment or oil tonic in your hair is such a beautiful, feminine way to nurture yourself. It's simple, it's easy, it's concrete. And when you do this on a weekly basis, you start recognizing how fulfilling it is to take care of you as you take care of everybody else. I trust this beautiful tidbit of my sharing something personal for me, that you guys benefit from it. And I promise you in some other video, I will actually take it and use the oil and show you how I do it. It's not going to be this one, but some other video, I will. Let this nourish you. Let it support you. Let it perhaps open you up to recognize that you can also love and nourish yourself. And it's not a selfish act. It's a beautiful communal act with yourself. And as women, when we do something that feels good for us and we see a benefit, we share it with others. And this is part of Feminine Spaces. These are the things that I've used, that I've generated great benefit from, great comfort from. In the same way, I share the beautiful things with you, as I also share the difficult things that I've experienced in life. This is also part of communal sharing, inspiring, loving, nurturing ourselves as women and one another.